Howdy guys, welcome back. It's been a while since I put a video up, but there's there's been a lot that's been going on. I like that. Yeah, I've been having a lot of issues with cars. As you know in my last videos, I took the Escort to Summernats. The car went great, couldn't fault it, and then yeah, obviously I lifted the cylinder head, which wasn't a big issue because the car, I could still drive the car fine after that. But yeah, just lifting the cylinder head, I had to do upgrades on the Escort to stop it happening again. So what I've done, I've done a lot of Google searching, and I found the Nissan Skyline GTR, the RB26. This is upgraded head stud for that engine. So one side of it's M12, the other side of it's like an Imperial thread. Yeah, so this one here on the left is the original ARP standard replacement stud for the Zetec engine. I was running them, but the cylinder head lifted with them, so now I've upgraded to these. I've done a lot of work myself. I tried finding a machine shop around here that wanted to do the work for me, and 3 of the machine shops in my area, 2 of them were too busy. One of them just flogged it off. So just go to this other place in Morpeth near Maitland called Argo Engineering. So I went and seen him. He wanted $800 bare minimum. I'm like, wow, I've just spent a bomb buying these head studs, and then I'm going to pay machine shop stuff like that, do it myself. So I got me taps, I got my own drill press here. A lot of time and setup. Got it done, upgrade the head studs, that's sorted. So yeah, the Escort's been challenging. I've had to oil leaks. I pulled the engine apart. I pulled the pistons out, so I can do all the work on the block, the head studs. And I had a few beers one night, and I damaged one of the piston rings. Stupid. And they're not just ordinary piston rings. If the pistons are from America, they're JA forged pistons. So I'd order new rings. So there was another 3 weeks waiting. So yeah, put new rings in it, put the engine back together, then a rear main oil seal leaked, front seal leaked, just dramas. But it's a fault of myself, you know, I'm learning, I'm not an expert. So that took up a lot of my time, and so the Escort's going now, sorted. I've converted it to drive-by-wire. I've upgraded the pedal box to what they call a Coltrack pedal box in the UK. It's the best you can get apparently, what I've read anyway. So upgraded pedal box. Now I've got bias adjustment for the rear to front brakes. I'll just give you a quick look. So over here, you can see here there's a knob there to adjust the bias controller. Now underneath there I've got the Haltech Elite. I can have different tunes. So yeah, the car's going sweet. I took it for a drive, and the car didn't seem to go that well. Like it drove alright, but it didn't seem to go hard like it did before. So I'm racking my brain trying to work out what it is. Turns out the boost control wasn't connected, so connected that up, took it for a drive, almost lost control. That much power, and the tyres were cold. So yeah, the car's going great again. So yeah, so that's sorted now, but I've been having a lot of issues. FG Falcon, it's really starting to show its age now. It's got 315,000 Ks on it. And first off, rear passenger side wheel bearing packed it in. It was like before our shift of work. And I heard this noise in the back of the car, and I couldn't work out what it was. I've been driving this car everywhere. I look after it, service it and stuff, but yeah, jacked the back of the car up. Rear passenger side wheel was loose. Wheel bearing, oh shit. Went to Repco, bought a new wheel bearing, replaced it. It was great for about 2-3 weeks. Then it started making noise again, so I thought the bearing was dodgy. So I jacked it up. Yep, that wheel's loose again. Turns out it wasn't just the bearing, it was the inner race. So when you replace the wheel bearings on the back of these, you're meant to buy the hub as well, they reckon. So replaced the rear wheel bearing twice. The third time I replaced the hub and another wheel bearing. That side was sweet. Then whilst I was at it, I replaced the driver's side rear wheel bearing. That was sweet. Got that sorted. Now I'm starting to get wheel bearing noise for one of the front wheels, so I got to replace the front wheel bearings, and I'm having a lot of dramas of tyres, man. Like this tyre here's gone flat again. I was in a panic before summing it, so I needed to keep this car going, and I found the front tyres are worn out on the inside, so I had to get whatever I could buy tyres for the front. So they're going flat all the time, both of them. The back tyres on this car have worn out, so I've had to throw these 16-inch steelies on there. Just been an absolute nightmare with this car lately, just trying to keep the thing on the road. So this is another issue I've had. So I went to my brother's place up near Tamworth, and I helped him, me and my brother helped him put up a triple garage, and over in the paddock he had this BF Falcon, like this one here. So he had these BF Falcons sitting in the paddock doing nothing. So I thought, he had the wheels that I liked, 16-inch steelies. I thought I'd put them wheels back on this car, but because all this rain we had, there's so many potholes in the roads, and I've seen so many cars, roadside hazards on, with buckled wheels and blown tyres and stuff. So I thought I'd throw some 16-inch steelies on it. So I'm looking at my brother's car, and I said, "What are you doing with the car?" And he goes, "Oh, you can have it, mate, for $300. And I thought, oh man, I don't know. And I thought, yeah, I was going to spend $500 alone just to get steely wheels for this car of decent tyres. So I thought, stuff it. So I gave him $500 for the car, but here it is here. So I basically bought the car, trailed it home. So yeah, here it is. This is it's a Falcon BF Mark III XT, so it's a base model, LPG dedicated. I didn't really want the car, but I thought it's cheap. It'll be great for work, hitting potholes. I don't care. Because yeah, that other car, the FG Falcon's got coilovers and stuff, and it's just not designed for the conditions of the roads I'm driving on. So I want to get this thing going. Park up the silver car, leave it for a while, put it in storage, and yeah, just drive this thing around. But it's in pretty good nick. It's an ex-council car, so Gosford City Council had it. Yeah, really nice. So the wheels on it, the wheels on this car, I was going to put them on the FG, then I found out the FG Falcon, because it's a turbo model, you can't fit the 16-inch wheels on the front, which has screwed me over. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the wheels that originally on that silver car, the 20-inch wheels. I'm going to put new tyres on them, put all the wheels back onto this, because I can't get this running properly. There's something going on with the LPG, it's not working. I've tried buying a kit where you can just basically get your barbecue bottle and top the tank up, but it doesn't seem to want to run on its own. So I'll do the work to it. It's got a bit of rusty on the dog leg, fix that up. But yeah, this I'll end up taking it to a gas mechanic. I already spoke to someone, he said he's keen to have a look at it. And a bit of a dying thing now, the LPG Falcons. Not really cost effective now. Like, by the time you work out your mileage and stuff, it's probably dearer running an LPG car, the work you have to do to keep them going, the converters and stuff. But I'm doing a lot of highway case, so it won't really matter to me, I don't think, as long as there's plenty of service stations around. But I'm not going to worry about the Escort this week. I want to get back to work with this old girl. It's been a long time. So what I do now, I'm going to start rearranging the shed. Yeah, make a start on it. Yay! I can get to the car again now. So much crap in this shed I need to get rid of. We'll have to Saturday today, so I'll get stuck into it tonight, have a few beers, get the music cranking. But yeah, the weather's turned to shit, always raining. So I was just thinking, I used to have a Ford Falcon AU 1999 model, Series 1. It's a Forte, it's basically the base model, and it was just a petrol 6-cylinder, BTR 4-speed auto. and had that car in the early 2000s. What would I do to have that car now? Dual fuel, had CSA 17-inch rims on it. The perfect car for work, towing, all that stuff. Yeah. If only I could turn back time and kept that car, but at the time it was just the wife's family car. She drove it everywhere, and great car, reliable. Put a photo of it up. Bright and early, Sunday morning, 1st of May. Got the shed all cleaned up now. All set up for Falcon. So yeah, there's heaps of floor space. What makes it hard with this car, it's a fairly big car as it is, and what makes it worse is the rotisserie. So I usually have it sort of going across the shed from corner to corner, but I've turned it around a bit, and I'm trying to make it so that there's plenty of room around the car to work on it either side. So there's heaps of room this side. I've got good lighting up here. I've got this fluoro light above here. Well, that's LED, that one, but I've got fluoros up here. So there's fluoros all around the shed. There's plenty of light, so I can work on this side of the car good. I can turn the car over to a certain point, work on the roof, the bonnet, the boot and stuff. So lighting's a big thing when it comes to this car because it's got such big panels. So I'm just gave it a wipe down, having a look over it, and it looks like the roof's been water going on it, so there's water marks all over it, but just sand out. The problem I've got the other side, my older brother's got a Ford Falcon XB wagon. He bought it a while ago now, and I found him at Cleveland bottom end. So it's out of a 79 model Fairlane. Was a 351, but the dude took the 302 crank, put a 302 crank in it. So now it's got a 351. Everything's 351 except for the crank. So yeah, it's a virgin bore. So yeah, he has to pick that up yet, but he's got a lot of crap in his shed at the moment, helping his in-laws move house. So I'm limited to how much I can sort of turn the car over, but I don't need to flip the car upside down, so it doesn't matter. It can be here for a while yet. But yeah, she's all set up, ready to go. And the Falcon, I jacked the front end up. I was thinking the wheel bearings on the front are worn out, but they appear to be okay. The front right end tyre is going down still, so I'll get new rubber for the 20-inch wheels on the back. I'll order new rubber for it tomorrow, and I'll get the front wheel puncture fixed, and I think the passenger side's got a slow leak, but I'll get that tyre drama sorted. And for the BF Falcon, I noticed, yeah, when I put the cooling system back together, because my brother had to take the cylinder head off it because this car has got a bit of history must have been through some sort of dispute, either with council or a separation, because he said that he looked down took the rocker cover off, and there's like all rocks and shit under the rocker cover. So someone's tried to hurt the motor, but the cylinder head had a leak, or the gasket, so he got that fixed because it was getting airlocks in the converter, and the converter was freezing up, so the LPG would stop. But now he's had the cylinder head, he's got it machined, cylinder head's on. I'll get the engine to fire and run roughly, just on using ordinary petrol. But yeah, I think there's a possibility the converter's been damaged from icing up, although he did buy a reconditioned one for it. But yeah, I've got a new radiator for it because I had a hole in it, so I got to put a new cooling system, fix the radiator up, get the cooling system happening, start up, sweet, then I'll just offload it to a gas mechanic, get that thing registered. The beauty of these bloody wagons, it's already got a 1600 kilo tow bar on it from when they used it in the council, so it's going to be good for towing. Because I noticed when I went to Summernats and I used the FG Falcon to tow the Escort down, I wore the inside of the tyres out. Unreal. New tyres on that car, all 4 new tyres in early January. Back one's already worn out. Unreal. Obviously it needs a proper wheel lump at the back, but it's not set up for towing. I think when it comes to towing these cars, you've got to use like airbags to get it sitting the right height rather than sagging. Just when the inners out, so whatever, that car, I'm just gonna I'm just going to park it up, put a cover over it and just leave it for a while, decide what I'm going to do. But ultimately I'll need a hoist, because the rear end, all the diff pushers are, although they're being replaced, they're worn out again. So it just needs a bit of love, that car, and then it should be sweet again. But at this point in time, I'm not prepared to put all the money and hours into it. Transmission's due for a service. I've got ZF 6-speed. There's all these things that need to be done in the car, and I'm just not prepared to do it at the moment. I prefer to have a ordinary Falcon. It's reliable, and it's got, believe it or not, that BF Mark III's, it's about 3 months newer than the FG, and that thing's got 280,000 Ks. That thing's got like 315. So yeah, I won't put a hell of a lot of time into that wagon. I'll just offload to someone, get it sorted. But so what I'm looking at doing now, my son just come out earlier and he goes, oh, let's go for driving the Escort. And I'm like, yeah, leave it till later. I want to work on this for a while. So what I've been doing, I just, got this bonnet, had a good look over it, and just look at all the things that need to be done. So I can see little imperfections here and there, but I'm not really sure at what stage I'm up to. So usually you go from like, say, 60, then you might go to like 120 to 180. So I typically don't double the numbers. So if I'm doing a 60, you don't always go to a 120. Depends on the job itself and how it looks. But so I'm not sure where I'm up to with grade. So what I'll think, I'll go to a 180 and just see how it comes out. And I'm going to have to use a bit of tape, because there's a fine line that goes to the middle here and on to maintain that. So just going through my kit here and see what I've got. So I reckon the Smellomotive number 2 spline, I reckon it'd be sweet. So I put 180 on one side, and the other side I'll put some other tape that I've got left over as grip. And for the edges, I'm just going through these soft sanders, Durabox soft sanders, and I'm looking for one that's ideal for the shape. So I reckon this one here looks pretty good. The shape's a lot similar, so that'll get in there sweet. Should get in here all right too, just to get in there and maintain its shape. But yes, I block this bonnet back, see how it looks, see what needs to be done to it, if anything. And then I've got this, more of this poly primer. This time it's that light grey I was telling you just before. So yeah, different colour. So I was hoping to get it made in burnt orange. But before I go putting that down, I'm gonna have to be really careful. Gonna have to go check the weather station we've got here and see what the humidity's like, because I'm gonna have to drain, because it's been a while since I've done any spray painting, so I'll have to drain that air compressor, make sure these air separators, the water separators, what they're called, yeah, make sure they're good. Just got to be careful, because I don't want to get humidity blisters and crap down the track. So yeah, I'll make a start on it now. Just looking over the car, I'm not exactly sure where I left off. I think it might have been the bonnet. Yeah, looking at see little things here and there. So I think the bonnet needs a good go over. It's got this definitive body line up the sides. I was concentrating on getting the body line straight. Then I could take the top off it to be like it was from factory, sort of. So got that sorted out. But before all this crap happened with the FG Falcon and the Escort, time-consuming dramas, I went to Mellomotive just to get some acetone to break down some of the polyester primer, and I ended up just going hell for leather, because it's completely out of my way to go there. So I ended up buying another 2 tins of this stuff, but this time it's in like a light grey. I couldn't get the orange. I could have got them to make the orange up, but I was there and then, so I had to take what they had. So they didn't have any red, so I just went a light grey. So I've got heaps. I can literally go this car 3 times easy. So I can do the outside of the car to get rid of fine issues and stuff. Engine bay, I can really go over it. I'm not happy with under the bonnet. I noticed on the bonnet some of the epoxy primer in the past, it's starting to flake up. So I'm going to strip that back to bare metal, go through the process, and I'll use the poly primer on it. So yeah, I've got to do that. I was just thinking about me past cars, and back in 2008, I was working in this foundry as a blue collar, and I just had my first son. We're doing IVF, money was tight, but the wife knew, the ex-wife knew I was working hard, doing long hours, so she said, what car that I want to buy, just go buy it and be done with it. So I went out and I was looking for GT Falcons, and at the time, you could get a nice BA and B model B series GTs for a fair price. So I ended up finding this 2005 model BA Mark II. It's like this, I forget the colour, it's like a metallic blue light colour, and had the Bosch 290 6-speed manual. It wasn't a GTP, it was just a GT. Had the sunroof. I bought off this business man in running his own business in Sydney. I only had 50 something thousand Ks on it, paid 29.5 for it. Was driving it everywhere. Got some awesome photos of the car, and had good times in it. But it's like all these later generation Falcons had diff bush issues, so I had a diff bush to repair. The Ford Performance Vehicle front rotors are wearing out, so they needed replacing. At the time, we had that financial crisis, and the foundry I was working in was was struggling. So even though I was permanent with that employer, they cut our hours back to 3 days a week. So basically had the ex-wife, she'd gone back to work after 3 months of being off, having my first son, my only son, and then so money was tight. So yeah, paid 29.5 for the car, sold for 30,000. But I don't really, be nice to have that car, but at the time that's a lot of money, and that we used half the money for that car to buy my second house. So it's certainly nice to have that car sitting in the shed looking at it, but they haven't really gone up that much really. Pick one up now for about probably 50 or 60,000, but in comparison to these Falcon coupes, yeah, it's nothing. So what I'll do now, my son wants me to take him for a drive in the Escort, but this rain sucks, so hold off doing that. But I'll just start cleaning up and getting organised. But I don't know if I really do much of this car this weekend. I just want to get organised and see what I've got. I might even get some more containers to put stuff into storage, but there's not much floor space in here at the moment. So yeah, I'm just going to work with what I've got. So I just started sanding with the 180 and I've noticed a lot of lows, so I'm not really happy to be using 180 at this point. I think it needs more coarse paper, that way you don't get like any if you use finer paper, it's not going to take out the highs and lows as well. So yeah, I'll step back to 120. So yeah, what I'm going to do now, I've got the GoPro set up here so that I can film it while I'm doing it. But yeah, go to 120 and just continue on with it. This is something you do not see every day. It looks like it's dead, but then it could just be sleeping. I don't know. Flying fox. What are you doing, cat? Cat, leave it alone. Just went for a cruise with my son. But he had a bit of a shit of experience driving along, and I heard one of the fuel pumps is really loud because it's got 2 Bosch pumps, and one of them was starting to make noises, and I thought, oh shit, this is not good. And then all of a sudden, yeah, one of them just died. So it uses 1 pump for ordinary driving, and when you get max power, it the power the second pump cuts in. So yeah, swap one of the pumps back over. One of them's actually a Bosch pump, the other one's an Aeroflow, because the original Bosch pump died. But because I was running the standard fuel tank, rust crap's getting in fuel lines and wrecking the pumps. So yeah, now I've got this plumbed up properly. I've got a Carter black lift pump, and I've got little fuses down here too. So yeah, it's a lot going on, but yeah, I've got 2 new Bosch pumps. I'll show you. I've got these new genuine Bosch pumps, not just eBay crap. These are genuine. Got them in place in Beresford near Newcastle called Pit Crew. So yeah, genuine. So what you do when you Bosch pumps, you look up this code, and it verifies through the Bosch site whether they're genuine or not. I haven't done that yet, but I will. But these are the new generation 044s. The old ones, the old 044s are discontinued. So these pumps are actually smaller. Apparently they're better, last longer than that. But the main reason I'm having so much problems with the pumps, because I'm getting mild steel and E85. There's E85 attracts water, and then the tanks rust, and then they get inside these pumps and the roll bearings, and they do damage to the pumps, so they don't last as long. So yeah, I'll just, before I go driving now, I'll install new pumps. Be good then. So part of the upgrades that I was recommended when I was at Summernats, I spoke to that Al from Skid Factory, and he recommended I upgrade the drive-by-wire, seeing I've got this Haltech ECU that's capable of doing it. So I've got this one here, it's off a Mark III Focus. So yeah, I put that on there, no drama, it's got it set up, it's great. I even tested on the Falcon. Actually, the Falcons use the same Bosch. It's actually Bosch Motorsports throttle body. So I was able to test it out with the Falcon first, and it was sweet. So, but then I spoke to Tune, and he reckons the actual, it's too small. It's only 57 millimeters. He said nothing under 60. So I actually just bought one off EFI Hardware in Victoria. It's a 68 mil. So it'll bolt straight up the same as this. I just have to get an adapter pipe to adapt it. But yeah, this one works great. No dramas. So yeah. I just finished doing one side of the bonnet. I had tape on this side. See, I've sanded it, got it right. Now I've got to, I'm having dramas of time. I went for driving the Escort all sweet, got home, and then my son reminded me that his quad's broken. So he went for a puddle really quickly and burnt out the coil. Coil's, well, imagine the coil would have been hot, it's hit water and it's wrecked it. So I bought a new kit off eBay, got it sorted. Its quad's going again. So now I can get back onto this. Sand it back. Now I'm going to give it a coat, poly primer. I use these sanding pads, flexible ones, you get them from Bunnings. This one's pretty coarse, but it's really good for scuffing up all these sort of areas in here, stuff like that, little tight spots. Because overall, the shape of all this stuff's great, nothing wrong with that. It's just these large flat areas that have got issues. But it's come up pretty good. There's still minor highs and lows. Just got to keep going until they're all gone. But you can see where it's going through the bare metal, different spots. So yeah, so I got this poly primer now. I'll have to give it a good mix up. Got this stall stirrer, another thing from Bunnings. Stir this up, get it all ready, and give it a coat. See how it'll go. But the temperature's getting down a bit. It's probably getting around 18, 19, 20 degrees now, so I'll see what happens. Apparently this stuff likes it. Looks absolutely amazing. Different to using the orange, but yeah, really Looks really good. You can be fooled and think, oh yeah, it should be alright, just do it with a 240 now. No, it's not ready. I could just see a faint line across here. A couple of little things here and there, but overall it looks really good. And that little line down the middle there. See if I can get a reflection. Had it going really good before. I had like a bit of sunlight, but now it's starting to go away. But yeah, it's really nice. And unfortunately it doesn't remain glossy like this for too long, probably about a week or so, and it starts to fade, but it doesn't matter. You get a good indication about how it turns out just by when you give it the fresh coat. So what I'll do now, I'll start editing this video. I'm tossing and turning, using the mobile phone, using the GoPro. It's really hard because I have the GoPro set up in a stand. And it's difficult to unscrew it, do all the shit, start filming what I've been doing, then set it back up again. It's just a waste of time. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll hopefully have another video up soon. I intend to anyway, so see how we go. I'll chat to you later.